Hello everyone, it's Thursday afternoon. That means it is time for another Facebook Live. I do this every week. Well, pretty much. Sometimes I'm out of town and I have to cancel, but most every week. And we make something fun together, and then the next week I give it away. So last week we made this fun split fold card with the new artistic leaves. This was a fairly new online exclusive. So I will tell you who won that at the end of the video. If you are new to this, I do post my dimensions over on my blog after the video is done. I need to share this link to my Facebook page in case somebody is looking for it there instead of here in the group. So let me do that real quick while you're finding me, and then we will get to stamping. All right. All right, just about there. All right, let's go get my laptop back where I was before. Okay, now we're ready. Okay, we'll get busy now stamping. So I participate in my friend Kay. I'm on her team, and she has team swaps every month, so I participate in those. And this was the swap that she made, which I just loved. She used Mossy Meadow there. So the challenge right now is our new holiday catalog will be coming out next month. So another month, and you'll be able to get all the fall and Christmas stuff that you want. And there's some new online exclusives too coming out then. But until then, we don't really have Christmas paper that we can use. So we have to be creative. And I forgot what she said this was. She told us. Oh yeah, it's the storybook. That's from the storybook paper. But it's got beautiful colors and, goes just fine with this card. It looks wonderful. And the paper that I used, this paper is, let me grab it. It is called Everyday Happiness. So it went with some, I don't remember what it went with. Oh, I didn't check today to make sure it was still available. But it had this Lost Lagoon piece in there. Could have used the check too. That would have been cute. So that is what I based my card on, was that piece of Lost Lagoon. So this, I showed you, did I show you the stamp set? I can't remember if I did. This is a new online exclusive, Jar of Joy. And in the previous online exclusive that's still available is this Sweet Jar bundle. So it has a stamp set and a bundle. A stamp set and a punch that go together. So when you bundle these together, you save 10%, I think it is. But then they also came out with this stamp set that is a Christmas one that goes with that same punch. And the jars are slightly different. Jars are slightly different. The lids are a little bit different. But they're the same size because they use the same punch. So that's what we're going to use today. All right, so let's get busy. This is a super easy fun fold. I have my Lost Lagoon, and again, I'll put all the dimensions in my blog. So I folded it, it's just like a normal top fold, but then you score it one more time. Let me get my bone folder. And then it folds back like that. All right, let's do our stamping. I'm going to grab my Stampin' Pierce mat because these are photopolymer. So I have a scrap of white. We're going to stamp our jar in Memento. The outline of our jar. Let's do that. There we go. And I think I did, oh yeah, we have to stamp our sentiment. So we have a piece, let me set that aside, of basic white where we stamp our sentiment on the top and the bottom. Now, it's one long sentiment sending a jar full of cheer, but because it's photopolymer, we can see what we're doing. So we're going to ink up just sending a jar. And then we're going to stamp that about as high as we can on this. And then we have to clean that. I'll grab my chamois. Because now we're going to stamp the other part of it. All right. So now we're going to stamp full of cheer. And I just turned it over to do it. But it's very easy to see where you're inking. And this will go at the bottom. There we go. And then we divided our sentiment up. And then we also stamped "Wishing You the Sweetest Christmas" on this inside piece. So that's what this white is in the memento. So let's do that while we have our memento out. And I'm going to stamp it a little bit to the left just to be sure it's going to be covered up by our jar. All right. Set those two aside. We still need to do some more stamping on our jar. Oh, we still need to do stamping on this too. But we are done with the memento. Let's go ahead and do our no, let's do, so we only get each one out once. Let's do our jar. And I'm going to punch this. We'll see if my punch works. It's been giving me some fits lately. So I'm hoping it will at least punch one time. Whoops. Yep, see, it's been getting stuck. But we got this one out. That's the main thing. All right, let's stamp our gingerbread man. So you have two stamps. You have one that's pretty solid, and then you have one that has just like accents around it. And I'm going to stamp our gingerbread man in pecan pie in our jar. So cute. All right, then we'll get our Lost Lagoon. So our Lost Lagoon, and we're going to stamp those accents in Lost Lagoon. And hopefully I can line this up on camera. That's always a trick. You want to look for his bow tie. And his buttons. Not bad. And then while we have our Lost Lagoon out, let's stamp our little bows. I just stamped them down the side of this white piece so that you kind of see them on the front. I'm just kind of alternating them, turning them one way or the other. And this time I didn't have them go off. Often when we're stamping like a background, we have them go off the edge, but I didn't this time. All right, let's get, I already punched out, thankfully, our lid. And I'm just going to take some Wink of Stella. Just run it all over our lid, just to give it a little extra holiday sparkle. All right. And one more thing we're going to color. So I have just our regular rhinestones. These are the little ones. And I'm going to take my dark Lost Lagoon and I'm going to take the bullet end, because if I use the brush end, then it kind of messes it up, but it doesn't seem to mess up the bullet end. So I'm just going to color 5 of these, and I just do it several times. Hey, Patience, welcome. So I just go over it several times. And we'll do one more time. So this is a neat way to get embellishments, whatever color you need them. All right, now we're ready to put everything together, I think. So let's put our lid on. And I learned the hard way, grab my green glue, that this lid needs to go down about as far as it can on this jar so that there's room for the jar between the sentiment. Put a little bit of liquid glue there. And take your pick tool is perfect for this. And put that down just about as far as you can. Whoops. You do want it to cover both sides, but there we go. Set that aside for a minute, let that lid dry. Let's get our other pieces on here. So I'm just going to put this white piece on. Oh, we're going to need that too. Just put it on flat. And then when we get our other pieces on, you'll still see those ribbons on the side. And then we have our DSP. It's going to go along here. Not that it matters which way that goes. Again, all the measurements will be on my blog shortly after the video. And this, we'll adhere it to this piece of black. And then the trick is, when you're adhering it to the card, only adhere it on this side. So I'm just going to run a couple of strips down that side. Otherwise, you'll glue your card together and you won't be able to open it. There we go. Now all we need to do is put our jar on there with some dimensionals. And that's why you have to put that lid down so you can fit it in there. And then we need our rhinestones. And your take your pick tool is perfect for these. I'm going to put 3 there and 2 on the bottom since there's a little extra space on the top. There we go. And then I did take a little piece, and I don't have it right here. Let me find it real quick, of this ribbon. This is an online exclusive ribbon, and it is just called ribbon, a 1/4 inch ribbon, white, doesn't say anything else. But I just took a little piece and just tied it once. You just have this little knot. Trim that off. Trim a little bit on this side too. Then we just need a glue dot. And we'll put that right on the lid of our jar. And there you go. There is our card all finished. Isn't that fun? It is a great fun fold, and it's so easy. You just take a regular card base and score it one more time, and you're there. All right, let me show you the other swaps I got. So I showed you Kay's that I copied mine from. And some of these you've already seen on Facebook, and some of them you may see the rest of the week. This one is from Sherry. I ran into Sherry today at the park at Pinnacle. I was there with my daughter-in-law and my grandkids. She was there with her grandkids. This is from Gail. Isn't that pretty? Pairs were very popular. Khaki. It's another little fun fold. This is from Paula. And that's a great way to use those strips that you have left over. This is Patience, which if you know Patience, it's surprising that she did a Halloween one. Isn't that fun? And this is some really cool designer series paper. And that's a die cut that comes with that set. And I love these little embellishments. They're foam. They look like they're hard, but they're not. They're foam. This one is from Jackie. And I think this embossing folder is supposed to be back soon. I haven't checked this week to see if it's back yet. But this one was mine using that same sunflower embossing folder. And then this one is Beverly's with the turtley sweet. Isn't that fun? I'm so glad you're embracing Halloween, Patience. Halloween cards. All right. That is all for today. I just need to let you know who won this split fold card from last week, and that is Debbie. So I will get that to her. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me to make this fun card, and I will get the measurements on my blog shortly. We'll see you next week. Bye.